Okay. This is how it ends. $7 p.m. Anyone? 7 p.m. And this is disappointing for disobeyed disobeyed about 4 or 8 years ago. What's up? Not about that. Dogs need to move. What's up, mateys? This is Discovery Scouts and Pirates of the Caribbean film series here. And today's Wednesday, no, October 17, 2018 today. So I just got it from the gym today. So I do some of those like elliptical cardio for 30 minutes ago, and I was just doing the my legs, and they're doing it also skinny for now for Chris. My cousin Chris told me to about I'm still skinny, you know. So that's a disappointing faction today. That about 8 years ago, 4 or 8 years ago, and but that was about hang out for the Fallujah Junior High School about 2010. You know, I ran without permission during the night at about 2014. So I just got disappointed with my dad for racing. So is kind of about where were I for the faction? Where were I? That's what it says. Where were you? And hang out with my former friends, and I was running in the night. So I got a headlight in my room, so which is reasonable for about emergency headlight. So I was kind of walking the night, so I was hanging out for the gym today at about 3 hours ago. That was at a faction about 6 months ago, and that was at about 12 months later. So that would be $40 for months. And that's a really good action today. So that's a good residence for raising the residence for reasonable I need for Total Divas. So let's get a faction today on October 22nd. So what happens to facts for now? Ronda Rousey just calls out and dismantle the Bella Twins, and the private security just have the fight those 5 guys. You know, she signed into the Women's Evolution contract to 1-on-2 handicap match, or 2-on-2 on Natalya, Ronda Rousey, and the Bella Twins. That'll be heroes against the villainous heroes today. So and that's the days that truly about scumbags and about do nothing Bellas. If that's the reason about heel turns at about 2009, and that was about heel turns at about those guys. Those are 2 guys for 3, and the 2 guys that against one of the sides each other about the Team Nikki's and Team Breeze. That's undecidedly. I was in there. I was seeing it about 9 years ago, whether the Team Breeze and the team against the Team Nikki's. And that's the factions on Raw. Actually, exactly what is going up to during the draft on WWE Network on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, on ECW. and we have a 5 year, we have a 2014 for heel turns after about Portland police detectives arrested for Brie Bella's libel on the T-Mobile fans for reasons. Stephanie McMahon was officially doing on rehires for SummerSlam for last 4 years. And then Nikki's betrayed for the Breeze for reasons of about since 2009 for about 9 years for heel turns, and thus has the apology for the accepting one of their sides, and before Agent Lee was turned heel, turned heels by Paige in about 4 years in the summer, July 2014, and Paige is also doing it no matter of what happens there for involved. That's a really kind sort of reasonable somehow. So that's in the main faction. If that Nikki and Brie Bella wrestling each other for on Hell in a Cell 2014, and that's a fact. That team modes that's decidedly to be coming to Total Divas against the true Total Divas, true Divas. That'll be 3-on-3. So Eva Marie the camera decided to villainous Total Divas. However, against the Brie Bella, and Nikki doesn't help in about 4 years later, a long time ago. And that was the reunion 2015. And that was an apology acceptance of one of the decides to if they have an acceptance, that was the fact for Natalya becoming a nose at about 2016 for the true about Survivor Series to took out so to replace for the Natalya for Survivor Series November 2016. So she was admittedly mystery or reveals to attack Nikki Bella was the war words of what it was about SmackDown 2016-2017 wrestling year on the World Wrestling Entertainment. And that works to .com, and Natalya and Nikki fighting each other for SmackDown Live in about almost 2 years. And then warned about War of the Worlds decide, and that could be the Royal Rumble that doesn't have the women's. It doesn't have the women's Royal Rumble. Does it goes at about whereabouts before the Elimination Chamber at Elimination Chamber. That has to be the opportunity for the countouts and disqualifications, and Nikki and Natty was fighting each other about last year, and that's the fact, and that's the really factions for the and that's the political, and then Nikki and Natty was fighting each other, and about where Daniel Bryan's very mad and frustrated, and former general manager from SmackDown Live, and what he says, and he's going to be fall count anywhere. So and Natty pushed Nikki on the Marie's on a closed room for reasons that Marie's just hitting her leg for with his candlesticks for once they have any no disqualification, not about a time. So Natty wins. She was respectively never seen in about 20 days. So and that's really on a faction that we hopes, and that's to call it the war words of a mixed tag team match on WrestleMania for last year for 33, and that's they would do it about against The Miz and Maurice, with John Cena and Nikki Bella did. So Marie slapped John Cena in the face for reasons. It's just matter of fact time. It's just a calamity. There's a calamities just have threatened to be republic. That has to be decidedly, and that's really dumb for reasons. Miz and Marie's calls dumps by John Cena and Nikki Bella did, as considerably. Even the WrestleMania was doing good job with there about winning the streaks about WrestleMania for after the John Cena and Nikki Bella was officially separated for 6 months ago. As she gets married and becomes fiance for last year, and John and Nikki loves together, and there truly is, and they're loving each other. They'll take off on vacation during the break with Brie, as she was giving birth about last year. Even Birdie Bees are grown up. She is a girl, and she was kind of very cute girl, very cute man, very cute, beautiful, and courteous everywhere, and Brie and Nikki stays together with the ambassadors too. That has to the fact what they have been done. So it became about sent to the film on Total Divas for 7th season for last year. That's really that has to how important it is, and it's a good appointment to the Total Divas for the 7th season, for the conclusion the first time about Carmella and Alexa Bliss, and the second time in the Maries for 6th or 7th season. Even Marie was mentioned that hair turns purple like officially like Sasha Banks. She's part of our way about last year. She was a bit about WWE Network, WWE for wrestling for last 4 years. Eva was no longer to be on turning to 7th season, the 8th season, and she has a part of her ways. She's not become American wrestler. She is become the actress. She's a great movie all that times. This is all I know. And Alana came there about SmackDown Live for Tamina with the manager. And they have for the back about 25th anniversary for 9 months ago. And that has the commitments for Monday Night Raw's 25th for the anniversary in New York. And I think Bella Twins came back for the turns to that has a reason about 9 years later. She comes back for visited for welcome to Ronda Rousey, and she is looking for a fight for the debut for every Sunday's pay-per-view at the WrestleMania 34 for 6 months, and current mixed tag team match for against Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, and Curran go and Ronda wins for 6 months for the WrestleMania, and sorry, just gonna check it out. My bad. So in Money in the Bank, yeah, it does matter. 4 months later, and 4 months lasted about Money in the Bank. Nia concerns about it, a friend about the challenge to former Raw's Women's Champion. That thinks about the opportunistics when Alexa Bliss and it gets up to the ladder and the briefcase, and she was opportunistic attack Ronda and Nia for disqualification for during the Raw's Women's Champion, and Alexa Bliss was officially coronation for suspendable somehow. Maybe Ronda was coming for Alexa Bliss for while she's doing about been suspended for 30 days, while she's doing about 23. Natalya told them about for somehow. Man, Ronda came returns, and she was coming, sending on the Rosie to Extreme Rules of July 15. Ronda came into the ring while they're gonna help Natty and Nia was even a helper for attack, even though it helped for the Velvet Alliance for the attack. Alexa Bliss and Mickey was a disrespecter to even disqualification, and never that happens. And Ronda was unviolating to chase Mickey and Alexa, and Kurt came out to the arena. It wasn't officially while he's just getting on to a SummerSlam August 18th, and Ronda was looking for debut for the fight for Alicia Fox, and that has to be undecidedly to close eyes for reasons. Even then, 2 months later, Ronda was armbar for Alexa Bliss, who were right arm miss. She was painful. She was armbar. She was tapping out for faster than she can. And she was the new Raw's Women's Champion, and the coronation of the Total Divas, and against the 6 of them out of the 5 out of the 6. Maybe Kurt returns to for reasons, while Stephanie McMahon just armbar by Ronda was the good reasons, and that has to do with good faction. It could be Alexa Bliss wants to the challenge by Ronda for Hell in a Cell, and that really pre-case about Primo today. So that has to the good faction of reasons for pay-per-view for the Hell in a Cell. Ronda with Natalya, and first fight, the second fight against Alexa with Mickie James and Alicia. That's the good drag him off. So she's a good of a fighter. She's good at fighter champion. She's doing well. So while she's doing that for probably 2 weeks last. So Super Showdown with the Ace of the Bella Twins helping out for Ronda Rousey attacks by the Riot Squad with Ruby, Liv, and Sarah. That's the baddest position for the villains, and they became true divas. And that's how the good about that's how they woke up in about 5 a.m. for 2 weeks. And they are victory for Bellas and Ronda, and even at the last day of last week ago, Bellas and Ronda win to the victory and defeat the Riot Squad. What happens to the Bellas attack Ronda for the heel turn should about since 2009? It's the third since 2000, and it's the second time since 2015, and the third time is 2016, and the fourth time now is 2018. Even that Ronda attacked by the Bellas for reasons, while she's called out for 2 days, she's called out and the private security and dismantles in the last 2 days, and Ronda was able to win on Women's Evolutions. Maybe Ronda will. She's a good hero. So Natalya will not to see Brie and Nikki again. A very long time, about 30 days. And that's how it is. And that's how they do. And that's how they able two of them with respect for the Bellas. As she says, do nothing for Bellas. Do nothing Bellas. And they're posting the pictures like the fake ones who rest in peace. Much like about formidable The Undertaker. And that's the doing about. And that's how the two of them doing it. The Brothers Destruction, were challenged by D-Generation X with the Crown's Jewel, and that's the undo. And Ronda was gonna have to next week on Sunday, and 28th for pay-per-view, and that was just gonna win to the armbar, like Asuka. And that's where I am the best. I am the best one. So next month will be Survivor Series on pay-per-view today on Sunday at Los Angeles, California. So don't ever forget to not just able to the underseas for about London, England, and that's all the way down the cross there the Atlantic Ocean is. And that's all the way right to the east, and to do. And guys, don't forget to hit the button to subscribe to more contests to watch on reaction to Evie Ronda calls out to the Brie and Nikki. So follow on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google, Find Cameras, Twitch, livestream, streaming, gaming channels, Cock Story, Talk, Tumblr, Hangouts, and more. Like and comment and link in the description today. Just follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google, Cock Story, Talk, Tumblr, and Tumblr. Even though I just have to install it for Emura today, just however you can, so I can do whatever you do. Just follow on Twitter, Instagram, follow on YouTube and Facebook as much as you can. It's fine with you. And do everything you gotta do. So alright guys, so and the politician is love it guys, feel free to death, don't forget. So keep it rich, mateys.